How to compare random access memories, some useful metrics and what they mean. Presentation 4 in the series on how to upgrade PC. Follow the link in my comments to see the online PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so above is a picture of some RAM. Just take a couple of seconds to look at it. It says Corsair Vengeance LXPD 16 gigabytes, 2 times 16, 2 times 8 gigabytes, DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM. So the type, capacity, and speed of RAM. When you look at RAM or DDR memory, there are three main things to consider: the type of the RAM, which is DDR, DDR2 to DDR5. Then there's the capacity, which is measured in thousands of millions of bytes, or gigabytes, abbreviated to GB. 8 gigabytes is equivalent to 8 times 100 million bytes. A byte is 8 times the smallest unit of data in a PC, which is called a bit. So 1 byte equals 8 bits. The speed is often measured in megahertz, which is an abbreviation. In explanation, 1 megahertz equals 1 million hertz, which is 1 million clock cycles per second. In this case, the speed of the RAM is 3200 times 1 million clock cycles a second, which is 3200 megahertz. It's important to get all these statistics right for the motherboard, otherwise you could break the motherboard by trying to force the wrong type of DDR memory. If the clock speed isn't supported by the motherboard, the RAM won't thread. If you're using more than one RAM module, it's best to have the same DDR number, same speed and capacity, preferably the same manufacturer, make, and model. 32-bit versus 64-bit versions of Windows. If the total RAM you're using is greater than 4 GB, you have to use a 64-bit version of Windows. Otherwise, only 4.32 gigabytes of RAM will be recognized by a 32-bit version of Windows. It will say in the packaging if you have a 32-bit or 64-bit version of Windows. Some other figures: CL, XMP, PC numbers. Other figures to match when putting more than one module into another include CL, which is a measure of the time it takes to ask for and retrieve data from memory. The larger the figure after that is CL, the slower the memory is for a given clock speed. Voltage has to be considered, which in this case is 1.35 volts. XMP is a chip that makes it easier to configure the RAM to run at higher than strictly speaking intended speeds. So if one RAM has an XMP chip and the other doesn't, you could be in trouble. The PC numbers are less accurate measure of clock speed, so two RAMs with the same PC numbers have a clock megahertz is different. That's all I wanted to talk about in this lesson. Thanks for listening. Bye.